decade and a half of anticipation. When AJ Styles entered the WWE, he already had a big following and reputation from his time in Japan, though he isn't alone in bringing big talent to the West.
Corey brings up AJ having a following before coming to WWE. It is similar to how Finn Balor had one as well. And boy, what a dream match they put on at TLC.
Yeah, that was a match put together in the spur of the moment. AJ Styles was on a live tour in South America, took an 18-hour flight to Minnesota, and still had a hell of a match against Finn Balor. The WWE Universe has been buzzing about it ever since.
It even made you swear, Byron.
You know, guys, it's not uncommon for superstars to practice a little hyperbole when it comes to nicknames. For example, King Kong Bundy isn't really a walking condominium, but when it comes to Braun Strowman, there is no more fitting moniker than the Monster Among Men.
So it's kind of like when they call you JR Jr., right?
I've never heard that one.
Braun Strowman truly is a monster among men, as Byron pointed out. Even on the rare occasion he's outsized, I'd say it's Strowman's physical ferocity that makes him truly unstoppable.
I couldn't agree more, Cole. Just go back and look at what Strowman was able to do against the taller Big Show. I mean, at one point, Strowman threw Show right through a steel cage.
Needless to say, Brian, when it comes to Braun Strowman, you're simply not going to overpower him. With that in mind, though, what should the approach be when facing the monster among men?
Let's see. Hope you get lucky? No, in all seriousness, if you're facing Braun Strowman, you'll need all the luck in the world just to survive, let alone win.
Byron, I think you should fight Braun.
I don't think so.
To Byron's point about needing luck against Braun Strowman, I'd say Kalisto used more than a little luck when he handed Strowman a rare loss in a dumpster match.
Kalisto was certainly lucky on that night, Cole, and while the record books will show a win for the King of Flight, in reality, I'd say he walked away a loser after Strowman's post-match obliteration of him. I personally think fighting champions are idiots, but AJ Styles hasn't turned away any challengers since joining SmackDown Live.
Corey, you said before that his constant defenses are idiotic. But between his U.S. Championship Open Challenge and his WWE Championship reigns, we've seen plenty of all-time classics.
Who else but AJ Styles would give Tye Dillinger a United States Championship match mere weeks after his debut? Or give James Ellsworth 2 WWE Championship opportunities? That's why he's the champ that runs the camp.
You just proved my point. It's idiocy.
If you want to know why AJ Styles is determined to be the best this industry has to offer, check out the tattoos on his torso.
I'm no stranger to ink. I mean, it's my show, Superstar Ink. AJ's tattoos catch your eye because they show what's most important to Styles, his family. Now, those tattoos we discussed, if you can slow down Styles enough to actually read them, you'll see a series of dates that correspond to the births of his children.
AJ Styles already has an exceptional skill set, but those tattoos show that Styles has a never-ending supply of motivation as well.
I feel a little silly asking this, given that there is probably no good answer, but Corey, how do you beat Braun Strowman?
Well, you're right, Cole. That is a silly question because there's no blueprint when it comes to defeating a monster like Braun Strowman. The best advice I would give, I guess, is try to chop him down to size.
Byron, Corey suggests trying to chop Braun Strowman down to size as a possible strategy against the monster among men. What do you think? Would that strategy work against Strowman?
Well, it's certainly worth a shot. If you take out Strowman's legs, then it becomes a mat game. I mean, you're probably going to get crushed, but maybe not as badly.
If I could turn back the clock to April 17, 2017, Byron, that was the night Braun Strowman did one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen when he delivered a ring-crushing superplex to the mighty Big Show.
Ring-crushing doesn't even begin to explain it, Michael. The ring literally imploded on impact. It was unlike anything that I've ever seen before.
You guys mentioned how the ring collapsed when Strowman superplexed Big Show, which was amazing. But for me, the most amazing part was that Strowman was actually able to get back to his feet just moments afterward.
Yeah, the monster among men stood tall while the medical staff tended to Big Show and the referee, who laid motionless for several minutes following the impact.
Even though AJ Styles deemed himself the champ that runs the camp to annoy John Cena, he really has thrived as a leader of various factions and teams.
Yeah, Styles led the club back before the WWE draft separated that iconic faction, but he also led one of the most dominant groups in Japanese wrestling history.
Graves, that Japanese faction was good, but becoming a leader in WWE is what matters. Styles did that as SmackDown Live's team captain at Survivor Series.
And during that match, Styles' own teammate Dean Ambrose ended up powerbombing AJ and aiding in his elimination. But in the end, SmackDown won, which means that Captain Styles won too. AJ Styles is so dangerous, he can utilize a new finishing maneuver anytime he chooses. The bottom line is, when AJ flattens an opponent with the Styles Clash, the referee can count to 100, because it's all over.
It wouldn't be wise for any WWE superstar to think they can withstand the impact from the Styles Clash. AJ has certainly shown that he can end the match with that move at any time.
The Styles Clash is one of the most devastating finishers in WWE. The fact that AJ is so good at getting an opponent into it makes it even more difficult to defend against.
You can never count AJ Styles out, but his few losses of note are coming from bigger opponents who countered Styles' aerial attack.
If you're going to beat Styles, you need a strong move. Roman Reigns barely escaped their rivalry, but he got 2 big wins with some well-timed spears.
To your point, Corey, I can think of another time strength stopped the phenomenal one. When John Cena rolled from an attitude adjustment into a second AA to win their classic match at the Alamo Dome.
And you can't forget AJ's match against Brock Lesnar. Styles survived Suplex City, but fell to an F5. Beating Styles requires a lot of power and even more luck.
While it doesn't have the legacy of Raw and SmackDown, WWE Jacked is the only WWE program you've seen AJ Styles on before 2016.
Michael, that Jacked match from 2002 is actually on WWE.com. During the match, Jonathan Coachman mentions how great a prospect AJ Styles was in the early 2000s.
See, even back then, Coach was smarter than you. And don't forget Styles' opponent. He fought the Hurricane. It was no pushover back then. At that point, Hurricane had more experience, but Styles almost pulled off a win on Jacked. Some of the all-time greats in this business utilized the running power slam as a finishing maneuver. None of them had the utter force that Braun Strowman's version possesses.
The running power slam from Braun Strowman shows this mammoth's incredible athleticism and raw power. A lot more than the match could be over after Strowman drops you with that maneuver.
Being put in Braun Strowman's running power slam is like being picked up for a ride in an amusement park that purposely makes a crash landing.
If you want to know why AJ Styles is determined to be the best this industry has to offer, check out the tattoos on his torso.
I'm no stranger to ink. I mean, it's my show, Superstar Ink. AJ's tattoos catch your eye because they show what's most important to Styles, his family. Yeah, those tattoos we discussed, if you could slow down Styles enough to actually read them, you'll see a series of dates that correspond to the births of his children.
AJ Styles already has an exceptional skill set, but those tattoos show that Styles has a never-ending supply of motivation as well. Of course, we all recognize Braun Strowman as a legitimate main eventer, but remember, guys, it wasn't that long ago that he was considered the black sheep of the Wyatt family.